was decided in the referendum of the 2nd of June 1946. So people should make choices by voting. Okay, stop there. And what are the most important representatives of our government? The Prime Minister and its ministers and the head of state. Okay, and the main functions of the head of state? Well, the head of state is the connection between the three branches, legislative, executive, and judicial. And he's our commander-in-chief in time of war, and he's okay, stop now. You're not good. But I've seen worse. What mark should I give her? Okay, so 5 I think is not. You can go.
Article 1 of the Italian Constitution states Italy is a democratic republic founded on labor. Sovereignty belongs to the people and is exercised by the people in the forms and within the limits of the Constitution. By stating that Italy is a democratic republic, the article solemnly declares the results of the constitutional referendum which took place on 2nd June 1946. The state is not an hereditary property of the ruling monarch, but it is instead a res publica, belonging to everyone. The people who are called to temporarily administer the republic are not owners, but servants, and the governed are not subjects, but citizens. And the sovereignty, that is the power to make choices that involves the entire community, belongs to the people. This power, however, is not to be exercised arbitrarily, but in the forms and within the limits established by the rule of law. As the head of state, the President of the Republic represents the unity of the nation and has many of the duties previously given to the King of Italy. The President serves as a point of connection between the three branches. He is elected by the lawmakers, he appoints the executive, and is the President of the judiciary. The President is also Commander-in-Chief in the time of war. The President of the Republic is elected for 7 years by according to the Constitution. Any citizen that is 50 of the day of the election and enjoys civil and political rights can be elected president. Government Head of State Sergio Mattarella has been President of Italy since 3rd February 2015. The President is not responsible of the action performed in the exercise of his duties, except for high reasons and violation of the Constitution. Article 48 of the Constitution, which guarantees the right to vote, the people exercise their power through their elected representatives in the Parliament. The Italian legislative branch has rights to declare war with majority vote. The Parliament has a bicameral system and consists of the Chamber of Deputies and the Senate, elected every 5 years. The Chamber of Deputies is elected by direct and universal suffrage by voters who are 18 or older. The Senate is elected by direct and universal suffrage by voters who are 25 or older. The Constitution establishes the government of Italy as composed of the President of the Council, Prime Minister, and ministers. The President of Italy appoints the Prime Minister and, on his proposal, the ministers that form its cabinet. At the moment, the Prime Minister is Paolo Gentiloni. The Constitution states that justice is administered in the name of the people and that judges are subject only to the law. So the judiciary is a branch that is completely autonomous and independent of all other branches of power. The Italian judicial system is based on a mix of the adversarial and inquisitorial civil law systems. According to Article 135 of the Constitution, the Constitutional Court shall pass judgment on controversies of the constitutional legitimacy of laws issued by the state and regions, conflicts arising from allocation of the powers of the Senate and those powers allocated to state and regions and between regions, charges brought against the President and until 1989 the ministers. The Constitutional Court is composed of 15 judges, one of which is the President of the Italian Constitutional Court, elected from the court itself. 1/3 of the judges are appointed by the President of the Italian Republic. 1/3 are elected by the Parliament, and 1/3 are elected by the ordinary and administrative Supreme Courts. The main points of the legislative process are the initiative, that is the right to submit a bill, the hexam, that can be discussed the bill, the approval, that is the phase when the bill must be voted, the promulgation, that is the act by which the President attests that the law was approved, the publication, that is the point in which the law is published into the official journal, and at the end, the law enters into force on the 15th day. Europe has 28 member states, and its political structure is intergovernment. The main institutions are the European Parliament, the European Commission, and the Council of the Union. An important point is the Treaty of Lisbon, which is a document that contains a common set of rules relating to the EU. It is similar to a constitution, and it was signed by the European member states in 2007 and became effective on December 1st, 2009. Its state aim was to enhance the efficiency and democratic legitimacy of the Union and to improve the coherence of its action. The European Parliament has 751 members, elected every 5 years by the people of the member states. It meets in Strasbourg, but MEPs do most of their work in Brussels. Its main powers are legislative powers that can make laws with the Council, supervision of the executive body, and budgetary powers that votes on the annual budgets and oversees its implementation. The European Commission is the Union's executive body. It has 28 independent members, one for each country. It is appointed for a 5-year term, and it is headed by a president. Its headquarters are in Brussels. It is responsible for proposing and implementing European legislation, budget, and programs adopted by Parliament and the Council. The Council of the Union is the EU's main decision-making institution. It has 28 ministers of the member states responsible for foreign affairs, farming, industry, etc. The presidency rotates every 6 months. Rotating presidencies are grouped by 3 to define their priorities. The trio sets long-term goals and prepares a common agenda determining the topics and major issues that will be addressed by the Council over an 18-month period. On the basis of this program, each of the 3 countries prepares its own, more detailed 6-month program. Together with the European Parliament, the Council has the power to make EU laws and decide the budget. The EU is a partnership of 27 member states. The treaties set out rules and procedures for EU decision-making. The main institutions involved in the process are the European Council and the Council of the EU, the European Parliament, and the European Commission. EU legislative procedure consists in a first reading in the European Parliament, after which it goes forward to the Council. At this stage, it may be adopted, but if the Council does not adopt it, after the Council's first reading, it returns to the Parliament for a second reading. At this stage, it may be adopted, reject, or return to the Commission, which may reject or approve the Parliament's amendments and return it to the Council. Depending on the level of consensus achieved, the Council may adopt the act or the draft legislation may go before a conciliation committee convened with the Council and Parliament. There will then either be agreement confirmed at a third reading by the Council and Parliament, or the instrument will be deemed to have been rejected, concluding the legislative process.
Silence, please! Subito? Ma scusi, ma così non è credibile. No, sì, ma no. your knowledge. Ha fatto? E in teoria ora ci sarebbe l'inquadratura dei miei occhi incavolati e dei suoi assonati.
Beh, se vuoi va bene.
Ma no, prof, non così. Italy is a democratic republic. It means that it doesn't have a king, and the people. Scusi, perché non lo so.
Già le mie interrogazioni o i missili.
Siamo pazzi. Aspetta che io non mi ricordo cosa dire.
Pazzi.
Okay. What mark should I give her?